Okay, so good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining today. I hope everyone hears me well and can see the presentation. I am Camille Herlot. I am a Policy and Project Officer at EURADA, and I will be moderating this webinar today. So I would like to inform you first that the webinar will be recorded. So please close your cameras in case you don't want to be visible in the video. On behalf of EURADA, the European Association of Development Agencies, I am very pleased to welcome you to this webinar on circular economy roadmap to operational programs under the Circular Cities and Regions Initiative Knowledge Hub project. We are especially glad today to have with us one of our members, the Oost region from the Netherlands, a representative from Trnava municipality in Slovakia, and also someone for the CircularPSP project. So this webinar is part of a series of webinars under the CCRI Knowledge Hub project, and this is the last webinar of the series. So if you are interested in knowing more about the previous webinars, please do not hesitate to contact us. So this webinar aims to translate strategy into action, define actionable objective, foster peer learning and knowledge exchange, also clear governance and structure and coordination mechanisms, and facilitate stakeholders collaboration and engagement.
Blocajul acela este...
I invite you all to, when you enter the meeting, to just please cut your mic so we can smoothly go on with the presentation. Thank you very much. So today you will hear about EURADA's involvement in circular economy and the Circular Cities and Region Initiative Knowledge Hub project. But you will also hear about a circular economy model from the Oost NL region in the Netherlands. You will also gain a more in-depth look at Trnava's current challenges and opportunities in local waste management and circular construction. And you will hear from a best practice from the CircularPSP EU project. We will have the opportunity to have a Q&A, so please note down your questions during the webinar so you can ask them a bit later on. So now I will give you a quick overview of the projects and initiatives related to circular economy that in which, as EURADA, we are involved. And I will also give you a more in-depth insight on the CCRI Knowledge Hub project, so you know in what you are entering in. So for those who may be new to EURADA, we are a Brussels-based network representing more than 60 members in 16 different EU countries, consisting of regional development agencies. Our mission is to support regional innovation, economic transformation, and cross-border cooperation with increasing emphasis on green and circular transitions. EURADA plays a key role in bringing local needs and European level opportunities together, helping regions like Trnava engage in EU-funded projects, build capacity, and learn from best practice across Europe. Besides the main activities and services that we are carrying out for our members, EURADA also participates in EU-funded projects and tenders across a wide range of topics with an emphasis on circularity and sustainability. Alongside the CCRI Knowledge Hub, we contribute to other projects on the circular economy, such as I would give you a small input of some of our projects on circularity. So we have Friendship that just finished in November 2025 that contributed to further green and just transition towards the decarbonization and territorial regeneration. We also have Sexist, an ongoing project aiming at accelerating the transition towards a sustainable, competitive, circular economy. It's a project also under the umbrella of the Cities and Regions Initiative. So Sexist applies and expands the CCRI methodology across three key value chains identified by the European Commission that are water management, bio-waste, and plastics and packaging. Finally, we have Just Fashion, supporting the just transition in the fashion sector by providing businesses with a reference framework and tools to shift the production methods and internal procedures and final products toward a more sustainable model. So now, what is our role in these projects? Well, as the topic cover vary, our roles do so. Notably, we've led communication and dissemination efforts, exploitation plan, stakeholder mapping, engagement strategies, peer learning, application support activities. This being said, I will now focus on our role in contributions to the CCRI Knowledge Hub project. So our role at the beginning of the project focused on analyzing circular economy projects and initiatives and resources in order to identify the best practices and the less successful cases that will be then included in a publicly accessible repository. In total, the CCRI Knowledge Hub Consortium analyzed around 120 projects and 118 circular economy resources. Once the analytical part of the project was done, we launched a call of expression of interest for cities and regions to receive a tailored mentoring program. For those who may be not aware, this program consists of a diagnostic assessment followed by a one-to-one expert mentoring theme and a thematic workshop on a topic of interest, such as the one we are holding today with the great collaboration of the city of Trnava that we as EURADA are mentoring within this project. So although all the projects imply collaborative effort, it should be noted that the CCRI Knowledge Hub project places particular emphasis on joint implementation and shared learning. Unlike other projects where roles are clearly divided between technical or transversal partners, here most activities are carried out collectively by all partners. So what perhaps distinguishes EURADA as a partner in this project is indeed the fact that we've been able to leverage our network of regional development agencies to promote the cause, reaching multiple regions and strengthening the engagement in the circular transition. So within the CCRI Knowledge Hub, the tasks assigned are the analysis of good practices within circular economy project and initiative, stakeholder engagement, so extending the initiative mission to our network, and customized support services, capacity building activities, and first delivery of services, and finally, policy recommendation and sustainability. So the CCRI Knowledge Hub aims to leverage the existing initiative and projects to foster the adoption of circular economy in cities and regions in Europe. The project has a duration of 36 months, expected to be completed in December 2026, so very soon, with an expected consortium of 11 EU partners from 6 EU countries. It has the objective to increase the impact of the existing CCRI by enlarging the network of involved stakeholders, bringing together the knowledge and critical mass already developed around the circular economy implementation, and building upon the circular economy stakeholder platform. The CCRI Knowledge Hub serves as a dynamic marketplace and support platform that empowers regions and cities to accelerate their circular economy transitions. It brings together a collection of enabling technologies, practical tools, method reports, and good practices, all sourced both from within the CCRI Knowledge Hub and through an extensive mapping exercise. And they were all selected for their relevance to the local needs. So beyond resources, the CCRI Knowledge Hub offers customized support, including a diagnostic tool, personalized mentorship and capacity building activities. It also provides policy recommendation and sustainability guidance, helping local authorities design long-lasting evidence-based strategies that foster circularity, innovation, and collaboration. So the method is following 3 phases. The first phase, as I already said, was to identify the knowledge. Then the second phase was to expanding and spreading the customized knowledge of the project. And the phase 3 is to bringing together the knowledge to the policy makers and the society. So now that you have a clear idea of the CCRI Knowledge Hub project, let's welcome together our first speaker. Let me introduce you to Martin Kersen, a circular economy business developer at Oost Netherlands. Martin will present the Oost region as a model for circular economy implementation and showcase some case studies and strategies for supporting SMEs and public entities in the circular economy transition. So I invite you, Martin, if you want to take control of the presentation.
Yeah, you will invite me, I think.
You should be able to take control. Yes.
Yep, okay. Let's see how this works. This is new for me, taking control of somebody else's team meeting. Let's see, how can I move to the next slide? Welcome everybody, good morning. I'm Martin Kersen. I work at the Regional Development Agency of Oost NL in the Eastern Netherlands, consisting of the 2 provinces Overijssel and Gelderland. And I've been working on the circular economy for the last 7 years within Oost NL, and I will present to you the way of working we've developed for the Ministry of Economic Affairs in the Netherlands starting in 2025. Within Oost NL, we work on the circular economy on 4 sectors. The first one is plastics or polymers. We work on textiles as a focus area and on bio-based building sector. And this approach that I will be presenting this morning is developed for the metal industry or the metal electronic devices industry, and has a focus on SMEs in that sector. We have international experience on several Interreg projects. We are finishing CEO, Circular Economy Office at the moment, and 204C, and have run the Regio Green Tax, which is an I3 program on textiles for the last few years as well. And we have just this holiday or this summer period received a confirmation that next CARB, a new Interreg project on plastics, is approved as well. But first, let me tell you a little bit how we look at the circular economy, which gives a little bit of framing why we approach it this way. At the top picture I'm showing at the moment, we have the value hill that we call, and it shows basically how a product is put together in their life cycle. On the left-hand side, on the increasing slope, you have the sourcing and the production, adding value to a project with each activity or each step in the manufacturing process. At the top, you have the use phase, where the user you can see as a little person And then at the right-hand side, the value destruction slope. As soon as you buy or get a product, the value is decreased rapidly in a linear economy. I think the most painful example is if you buy a new car. As soon as you drive out of the showroom, you have, let's say, 5 meters on the counter, on the meter, and suddenly your product, the car, is 20% less, has 20% less value. Well, the product is still the same, which is a shame, and it entails us to move to the lower picture on the value hill, where we try, and that's our strategy within Oost NL, to make the value hill flatter. So to increase the lifespan, so they have the value at the top with repair or maintain strategies, and then make the slope in value reduction as less steep as possible with reuse strategies, redistribution, or refurbish, remanufacture, or recycle strategies, where you can see immediately that recycling is often seen as the circular economy, but it's only the last no regret strategy, because if you focus on recycle, you have to add all the value and effort again to get a product that has a usage value. And if you can use the reuse or redistribution or refurbished strategy, you have less value to add again to the product. So you maintain the value of the material of the product as high as possible. So just to give a little bit insight how we approach the circular economy with strategies to keep the value of the product and material as high as possible. Last year, we were approached by the Ministry of Economic Affairs to set up a collaboration program working together with all the development agencies in the Netherlands, which are shown here on the map, with us at the east, in the middle of the east, to collaborate on the circular economy for the metal electrical industry, to get a program basically built based on the European Digital Industry Innovation Hubs approach, which we have several of in the Netherlands, also based on our national roadmaps, specifically the climate installations, but I'll give a little bit more explanation on that in the next slide. And we were given the task to help at least 10 companies through an acceleration program as a pilot in this approach. With this, we set we started working, and basically the starting point were these priority groups that the Ministry of Economic Affairs has defined. I'm sorry, these are in Dutch, but I couldn't find a quick English picture for this slide, but I can translate them by verbally. You have the semiconductors and critical materials as a filter for these products, but then you have the machines and building devices. We have electrical equipment, military ships. With the political developments in the world at the moment, they have become more important. We have consumer goods, climate installations, solar on wind and on land and wind on sea. We have batteries, and we have solar systems as priority groups, which are important for the Ministry of Economic Affairs, both because we have an industry and relevant technologies, because they are important for the energy transition, and they contain certain critical materials, critical metals that are either physically scarce or politically scarce. So this is basically the starting point for our collaboration programs, and we chose the climate system as a product group. We, as a regional development agency, helped to make a roadmap for these products or this product group to help give a focus on the transition of this product group towards a more circular economy. And the reason we chose this one, first, because it was the first one to be developed, which helped, but also it was a product group where we have a lot of manufacturers in the Eastern Netherlands. So it's a sector we know quite well, which made it logical and easier for us to step into this sector. So we helped develop the roadmap on this product, and basically used these product groups for our acceleration and transition program in our assignment to collaborate. The next slide is basically how the acceleration program is designed and working. It contains of 6 phases, and each phase has a specific type of activity that has to be done, and it also depends on the roles and the different actors that we have on board, or we need to have on board for this activity or for this phase. It starts on the left with the scoping, and basically it's finding out which product groups are relevant to start working on. And it has to do with are there activation partners or are there partners which have the network of these companies on board or other stakeholders, but also in this case with the filter of the Netherlands, do we have a powerful chain actor in the Netherlands? Like, do we have a manufacturer or a repair facility in the Netherlands that has a big economic influence on the whole chain, or do we have certain resources that are critical for this product group in the Netherlands to make it to make sense to start working on this product group? So you have to have a certain economic activity in our region for us to say to our stakeholders, yes, we want to work on this product group. The next step is getting them on board, because we can say that it's necessary or logical to start on the circular economy, but do the companies themselves also find this at this point, or are they basically too busy to keep their heads above the water and get the black figures instead of the red figures at the moment? We have looked at semicon at the moment, and we have not the electronical part, but the photonical part. It's an emerging sector. It's too soon for them to really invest in circular economy transition, because they need to get as a sector in the black figures financially before they can start moving to topics that are relevant for the day after tomorrow instead of tomorrow. But if you get them all on board and you really need an activation partner, so like a third party, neutral party who's willing to help the consortium that you get through all these phases, then you move on to the phase 3, which is the plan forming. And for this we use the circle method, and I will explain that method in the slide after this one. But in short, it's an approach developed in 2017 with help of the Dutch government, where the theory of circular economy is translated into what can we do as a company tomorrow. And within 3 days, spread over 6 weeks, you learn to identify value loss within your product, within your supply chain, and transform that into a business opportunity in relation to design strategies. But this also is a tool that you can work on with a chain, so that you have manufacturers, you have original equipment manufacturers, you have customers, and possible recyclers or repair remanufacturing companies collaborating together, working on a joint business case, joint plan and joint strategy to make the reuse or the redistribution, refurbish strategies of this specific group, product group on paper. So the results of plan forming is basically a plan. It's a roadmap. It's a strategy to make more value from your material, from your product, instead of creating a lot of waste. The next phase is the testing and improving of the plan. So you start some pilots, you start experimenting, you start doing it in reality. finding out what works well, what needs improvement. So it's small-scale experimentation, leading up to the implementation phase, in which the supply chain really starts collaborating and implementing the plans in reality, full scale or semi-full scale. And the last scale of the last phase is the scaling, duplication, increasing it within other areas within the Netherlands, or ideally implementing it in the rest of Europe or other countries, depending on the market sector or depending on the specific product group. And for each phase, we have identified a certain budget that you need as a consortium from private investments, but also from governmental funding. And we are at the moment in discussion with the Ministry of Economic Affairs to see if we can get these fundings available for the market to get several product groups going in that way. A little bit about the Circum method. It has at the left is the way of the approach, how it's done. You start with a group of companies, roughly 8 to 12, which can be individual companies who have nothing to do with each other. But in this case, it's a supply chain collaboration. So the 8 to 12 companies actually have somewhat collaboration because they deliver to each other services or product parts. You identify the value loss. The value loss is the start of a business opportunity, and with product design, circular product design, and circular business model strategies, you work on a roadmap on 1 or 2 specific chances or opportunities, and work towards a pitch within the supply chain or within the company, and work on a roadmap where you know what you have to do tomorrow, what you have to do the day after, and what can be done in 6 months or 1 year time. It started in the Netherlands as a methodology, and at the moment we have over 1,000 in the Netherlands alone companies that have followed this method, and it's a method that's internationally introduced at the moment. We have trainers in several countries all over the world, also in Europe, that work with this method, and there's some interaction between the hubs. So we work a lot with the Flemish and the German hub, as you can understand, because they are close to us, which is very interesting to get lessons learned from them as well. But to give an example of what we have done with the method, it's not just theory, but we actually helped consortia through these phases. The ones that have developed the furthest are the ones with the photovoltaic systems, the PV. Both panels, the mounting structures and the inverters, they started independently, but they've been combined to a complete consortium, and where now in the Netherlands there's a reuse system being used, where old solar panels are being taken back in a nice way, being checked, are they still functioning, and getting a second or a reuse on a different building than the first use. And it has a lot to do with the social housing projects, where these solar systems are cheaper, but then gives a good opportunity for the social housing projects to have solar panels on their roofs. So that's basically at the scaling phase at the moment. For air duct systems, it's in the pilot and experimentation phase. It's these at the right-hand side, these metal tubes inside buildings to transport fresh and old air. And at this point, they're experimenting and pilot harvesting old channels or systems, seeing how bad are they quality-wise, and can they get a second chance, a second use in a new building or in a renovation of an old building. And the same, which is basically an extended part of these systems, is the heat exchange system in ventilations, which are the boxes that control the quality of the air, humidity, contamination, and temperature. It's a more technically advanced product, and we have just finished the plan forming, and we are now working towards the piloting and experimenting phase. And the same goes for the e-bike batteries, which was our first international track. We did this together with German supply chain companies, and the piloting is now going on at this moment. where a triage center for reused e-bike batteries is being developed at the moment, and together with Bosch as a manufacturer of e-bike batteries, a quality system is being developed for the repairing of e-bike batteries. And at the moment we are starting air conditioning systems as a third climate installation to gather a consortium of companies to see if they are willing to step in the circular economy. There are some links here as well. I will not use the click to the movie, but if you click on this or on the channel, on the picture of the air duct systems, you will find a YouTube film describing the consortium, what they are working on. So maybe for looking back after the presentation for who is interested. And that basically concludes my presentation. At this point on where we are in the Netherlands. Like I said, we are developing this for the metal and metal electronic devices sector, but this system we will use for other sectors as well. Now we have some proof that it works, and working on new product groups at the moment as well, and trying to implement this in the Netherlands as a way of working with the regional development agencies. So thank you. I don't know if there are any questions, which I can imagine.
Yeah, thank you very much, Martin, for your presentation. I am Berta Gonzalez. I am a policy and project intern in EURADA, and I also work in the CCRI Knowledge Hub project. I will be in charge of moderating the Q&A part later on, but I'm jumping in because we know that, Martin, you have another commitment and you will be needing to leave earlier the webinar. So in case the audience has any questions for you, we invite you all to ask them now if you have. So we open the floor for questions now. Otherwise, if you need us still to reflect on them, we will invite you to write them in the chat or ask them during the Q&A, and we will redirect them to you, Martin, via email.
Yes, sure.
So yeah.
Please feel free to share my contact details if there are some specific questions, either by phone or by mail. That's no problem.
Perfect.
I have one question.
Georg?
Sorry. Sorry, the layout of the Teams has changed and I needed to find the hand. It's now under React, hidden under React. Sorry. Yeah, I have one question. I mean, you're clearly focusing on driving. Oh, what you described is how to get vertical solutions into the market, or to basically make them available. And since I come from a different side, I come from the city side. How do you get public actors to pick them up?
For us, parallel to this program, we have a trajectory where the national and regional organizations or governments are trying to collaborate together as well, because you have the national policy side and then the regional policy, which don't always match together. And this method is also being used in that collaboration trajectory to see if we can get these national policies linked to the regional developments. And how we do that is specifically well, first of all, when you are consortium forming, you know which type of product groups or sectors you are trying to approach. And then the regional contacts or regional governments are a very valuable source for potential companies to collaborate. For instance, the installer is a sector that's very relevant for the climate installation, and is a great source for finding companies that are willing to step on board. But then again, with the scaling or the piloting and the scaling, you also need more companies to work with this method, with the method or the plans that have been worked out in the plan forming phase. So that's a source for increasing the companies willing to work with this way. For climate installations, again, the installers, they are the source for harvesting old installations and components during the repair phase of climate installations. But then they need to be offered to refurbish and remanufacturing hubs But to be able to do that, they need to know what's in it for them, and that's where regional or municipalities can play their role in giving this information and providing basically the way to join these initiatives, and that way helping them scale.
Yeah, very interesting. I have one follow-up question, another question rather, not follow-up. Is it okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, I come from Germany, and so the Dutch understood that the sea will not budge by itself. So you have a vision. In Germany, the circular green economy is to happen by market forces, simply by doing something. You're actively doing something, which I believe is much more effective. Do you have any numbers on how much circular economy you basically created? Yeah, like GDP, not GDP, but macro level numbers.
Yeah, no. This is basically the holy grail, and that's where every government organization, national and regional, is working on. And as us as a regional development agency as well, what's the impact of what you're doing, either on CO2 or materials spared or business generated? It's a difficult one. If you know the answer, then please let us know. We do count projects and consortia, and we try to find some figures on GDP of companies or in the Netherlands. There's the National Planning Institute has this analysis on how circular is our economy. I think the last one came out in 2025. I think it's 8%. And it used to be 9%, so we're moving in the wrong direction. But it all depends on what's your criteria or definition on circular economy. What do you count and what don't you count?
Yeah, that's a global number. You are far beyond, you're above that. But
Our approach is concrete projects with companies and helping them to see the opportunities, the business opportunities, or even strategic. How can we remain in business in future strategies instead of you have to do this because law or because of ethics.
Yeah. Look, would be good for everyone else if you had such a number. Just maybe an idea. Just pick up all the companies you kind of made happen. Add them up.
The number of companies we know.
And what business they create. I mean, what revenue they have, and add them up and say, this, I don't know, 4 billion didn't exist 10 years ago. It's already a good number.
Yeah, but then again, it's really difficult because it's part of the linear economy.
Yeah, fair enough.
Where do you put the divide line? But it's the holy grail. We're all looking for these impact figures, but we're not there yet. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay, sorry. I get it. Thank you.
Yeah.
Very good.
All right. If there is no further questions, I will give the floor now to my colleague Camille to present the next presentation.
Yes, first I would like to thank you, Martin, for your presentation. I will now take back the control of the presentation. As Berta said, if any follow-up questions after the other presentation come directly to Martin, please do not hesitate to ask them during the Q&A or write them in the chat, or even afterwards via email. We will make sure to redirect the questions to Martin. And Martin, have a good day and good luck with your other commitments today. So we go on to the next presentation. So next is Simona Lavakova, head of Bartekaren and Trnava representative. She will discuss Trnava's current circular economy roadmap, operationalization challenges, and opportunities for circular solutions. As I said during my introduction, Trnava is a city that we are mentoring within the CCRI Knowledge Hub. So, Simona, I leave you the floor now if you want to take control of the presentation.
Hi, hello, thank you very much. Hope you hear me.
Yes, we hear you well.
Awesome, thank you very much. Thank you again for inviting as and for for mentoring Trnava. So just one note, I will have to leave after my presentation. So if there will be any questions, our colleagues here from EURADA will know how to contact me. I will I will tell you briefly about Trnava. Oh, there is no photo. Sorry. I will tell you briefly about Trnava's journey in this mentoring program. I had a really nice photo of Trnava on the front page, but unfortunately is lost. So where is Trnava? It's a quiet, well, not for Slovakia. For Slovakia, it's big city. But
Simona, I just stop you here. I don't think you took the control of the presentation because we still, but if you prefer me to still change the slides, I can also.
I didn't because I can like move the slides, and I hopefully press the button. You don't see it?
No, we don't. We still see my presentation. So I
Okay,
think
so I will.
whether you need, yes, perfect. Now we can see.
Yeah, sorry for that.
No problem.
Apologies. Okay, I thought it is gone. Okay, so I will tell you. So you see the green Trnava, right? Everything is okay. Yeah, Trnava is it's like small city in Slovakia. It's bigger city. We have around 60,000 of citizens, like a population. We are on the west side of Slovakia. Slovakia is like in the middle of the Europe, or for some we are Western Europe. And we are like very near our main city or capital city, that is Bratislava. And we are actually living in a like small Western bubble here in Slovakia, because like every region is a bit different. The more you go to east, the more rural actually Slovakia is. Up to Košice, that is also like a huge city in Slovakia. So Trnava is actually like really nice historic city with like really nice citizens also, but it's also very like this. Our situation is a bit special because we are in the election year. We will be voting our new mayor and new city board. So it's like a small bubble right now where everything is changing and not much is changing at once. And we also have not so environmentally friendly government in Slovakia. So there is a lot of things happening actually due to the activists, the non-profit sector, and due to like active citizens. So it is also and in this situation, Trnava is really like progressive and really circular city in that sense. I will also tell you like in what areas we are circular. And I am Simona Hlavačová. I lead and I co-established first two reuse centers here in Slovakia with my colleague Janka Rehaková. And the reuse is still not as like visible or loud, let's say, as it should be. So I am not official city representative, but we in Batterkaren and as an organization, we are cooperating also with the city of Trnava, and we have found their allies that are like helping us to implement more and more circular processes and activities. So I'm somewhere in the middle of that situation, and I have decided to sign up Trnava to this excellent mentoring program, because I believe in a circular economy, in its systematic impact, and and also in its like really positive impact of on citizens or like people at all, because circular economy is also very social or like citizen or people positive theory. And I believe that even if Trnava is has many processes that are circular implemented already, I think that it could be even better, and hopefully will be even more systematic. So I will speak about it very briefly. Trnava has, as I already mentioned, Trnava has many circular activities implemented. We can say, we can like distinguish it in three areas: in waste and resource optimization, material flows, and public events. I am not responsible for waste and resource optimization or material flows in the city, but we cooperate in many public events with Trnava, and we also organized some events together, and we are trying together to promote circular economy, not as a circular economy, but as something that can really help to citizens. So Trnava is, as I already said, in the context of Slovakia, is Trnava really circular. And we are doing a lot. For example, you can, you have, it's called yellow city bikes. So you can rent a bike from Trnava city, right? So you pay 20 euros per year, and they even help to maintain it and even repair it. So it's like a really awesome activity that also will hopefully will stay after the elections. We will see. Also, Trnava is trying or is doing a lot in like waste management, but it's also really I would say damaged by the state regulations. But Trnava is doing everything in its own scope and own possibilities. So Trnava is collecting kitchen waste. It has also own composting site. We have an e-bike waste collection in our city city center, and we have also a lot of underground containers that are much more clearer and not so like dirty or smelly. So it's much more, let's say, inviting for people to separate the waste. Trnava is also trying a lot with, or is not trying a lot, but it has implemented, I think, that in many city events. I think it sounds like really small or a change, but it's a huge change, because we have in every city event, I think, a reusable deposit caps. So and I think last year they started to print it with Trnava logo and pictures of Trnava. So people were like really happy to have this change, because yeah, everything has to be like bought in by the people. And yes, I already mentioned it. Reusable cups were fully implemented or like established for Christmas market, and yes, they have started last year like with like the small sorting areas in a public or like city events. So you have people near the bins, and they will assist you when you will go there to throw away your trash. So there is a lot that is being done. There is even more, and I will say it again. In the current Slovak situation, Trnava is doing a lot. Because the reality is that I will not like be so negative, and I will not speak a lot about our government, but I mention it here because this is in this contrast, I have to say that city or country like Trnava really needs this kind of mentorship program, because we have to also see the areas or the projects or startups or anything that are actually working and that are inspiring, and that we can have some hope, because many changes in Trnava, in Slovakia, are coming from active citizens and from the strong non-profit organizations. So there is a lot of happening right now. We have also Slovak elections, I think, next year, so we will see. But in the meantime, this is not about a presentation about Slovak government, but I have to say that it's really important to have this kind of mentorship programs like CCRI, so we can actually do something that or like change something that is happening. So Trnava has attended or I have attended several mentoring sessions. They were very interesting and also not so easy, right? Because you have to think in the scope of the city and of the legislation. But yes, we are doing a lot. We are doing a lot, and hopefully Trnava is on its way to have a at least draft of the circular strategy. But in a area that has like the most impact and it's like the easiest win, so probably it will be a waste management of the city. And we have also met and had been inspired by 2 mentoring sessions with City of Drammen and the company of Sweco, because we were also talking about buildings and circular constructions. But I have realized that even if this area is like really needed to be so much circular, it is not currently in the scope of our not willing, but it's not in the area that I can even have an impact on, right? So it is also really important to be very down to earth and be aware of the reality of what can be changed and what can be influenced from my side as the actor in Trnava. So we have found several I would call it possible wins that would be probably implemented in 2027, and they were actually these 4 activities, like citizen service, scaling review centers, awareness campaigns, or circular hackathon, will be the activities that I will directly be organizing. And thanks to this mentoring program, I was able to like realize what is needed as a first, because when you see, like, it is a bit overwhelming to speak about circular strategy of any city, right? Even if the city has like 1,000 citizens. And when you have a bigger city and have a lot of processes, you you are not, as a single person, able to change everything. And thanks to mentoring program, I was able to realize or find out actually what kind of activities should be done like first, so we can work on them and realize and find out more information regarding what city is needed, what are the stakeholders, what are the processes, what can be adapted, what can be changed, and what is not. Like even in the area of be changeable, because it's the scope of the government or like bigger legislation than us. So those are the activities or possible wins that will be implemented next year and has the biggest actually and will have the biggest impact, because we try to create a survey for hope I will say for 60,000 of citizens of Trnava, because we have to know what our citizens need, and then we will try to create awareness campaign, and I will hopefully this will be also called by the communication department in city of Trnava, and would like to organize a circular hackathon, because when we are speaking with people or asking people like what they need or what are their ideas, we would like to prepare the platform where those ideas can be developed or maybe even implemented in any way. And if we are speaking like the further times or the 2030, we will, thanks to CCRI, we will be more strategic. This is like the bigger fights that are ahead of us. And hopefully in the next 2 or 3 sessions that we have scheduled, we will be speaking more about the systemic change that we can focus on in Trnava, and sector that will, as I already mentioned, the sector that will be chosen as the, I would say, low-hanging fruit will be the waste management or also the resource management in Trnava. And it has also sense in the connection with the survey and with the awareness campaign, with the stakeholder management, and also maybe with the hackathon, because waste and resource management is directly connected to citizens, and it is directly connected to their wallets even, right? So so it will probably have a huge impact. So the transition isn't easy. It's not the easy topic, and that's why it's brilliant that CCRI is like even existing, and that it has and it is given like the possibility to look at these kind of changes like systematically and strategically, also to the small city of Trnava, like in the middle of the Europe. So we are really thankful for that, and hopefully we will gain the tools and the knowledge that will help us to let Trnava be even more circular. Thank you for that.
Thank you very much, Simona, and thank you for your feedback on the project and on the mentorship program. It is a pleasure also to have you as a mentee. Since you will need to leave also early, we can also open the floor for questions and for comments from the audience. And otherwise, in case you have further questions later on, we will be happy for you to write them via chat or in the Q&A, and then to redirect you the questions, Simona, via email.
Yeah, awesome. I'm sorry I stopped your presentation.
It's fine. No worries.
No worries. I will share it again now. No problem.
Okay, I see Georg has raised his hand, so please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, thank you and for all the effort. You are one of those pushing first. And sorry, too bad that you can't stay because what we developed, which is complementary to what CCRI does, no? This one-to-one support, this human support, a tool which I believe could be interesting for you. So if you have time to watch the recording, have a look later. Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Thank you.
Good. So as we said previously, if there's no questions now, please do not hesitate to write them in the chat and ask them during the Q&A also to Simona, and we will share them with her. And I join Berta with thanking you for attending our mentorship session. So and for your feedback also, because actually it was also very interesting for us also to hear your presentation today, and it gives us more inputs to tailor a bit more the last two mentorships with you. So we take notes about what you said to make sure that we go to the right direction and be as helpful as possible for you.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in the last sessions. And now I have to run. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Simona. So
Bye.
I invite everyone. We have originally put a 10 minutes break, but if you all agree, I think we will shorten it a bit, and we will do a 5 minutes iteration break, so everyone can have a bit more energy to listen carefully to what Georg has to present to us. That is actually very, very interesting. A small sneak peek about what you're gonna see is that CircularPSP project developed amazing tools that we really wanted to share with you. So yes, we invite you to come back at 12:10 to make sure that we start at 12:10 with Georg presentation. So just have a short break, and that's it. See you in 5 minutes. Okay, so welcome back. Now that we have fresh mind again, let me introduce you to Georg, Head of ICT Innovation Green Economy at Empirical Communication and Technology Research, who is today representing the CircularPSP project. He will take us through a presentation of actionable frameworks, governance models, and coordination mechanism from a best practice. So now, Georg, I invite you to take control of the presentation. Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you, Camille. Thank you, Bertha, for the opportunity. So first, a little bit on our approach, or the way we approach projects. So we tackle, or we try to tackle systemic horizontal problems. So basically things which normally wouldn't be touched, and innovation procurement are a great opportunity there by the Commission, and we're always grateful to be able to apply, to kind of look at the challenges as they remain across the EU. So within the call here, you are probably the circular leaders or one of them in Europe. And I believe the tools can help you still, like what Simona said before, for instance. But in general, our view is to provide something which any city in Europe, no matter where they are, could help with. So we have two projects in buildings, basically scanning of existing buildings so that renovations don't waste typically quarter of the costs on planning errors and fixing it, and a way of basically defossilizing buildings so that cities can within months kind of tender and rip out the fossils out of a building, maybe not looking at efficiency first because the building is sort of efficient, and trying to find general solutions for it. Yeah, but today is circular economy the focus. I just try to put this as a perspective, because otherwise some things might look abstract in that we don't talk about this awareness campaign also on. It's about making all these efforts possible in any city. So first of all, you all know this stuff. The mentioned numbers have been also partially mentioned before. Circular economy is by far not where we should be. In Europe, we are at 12%. The target for 2030 is now with the circular economy at 24%, twice that much. And the majority of cities doesn't have a circular strategy, although 85% of the GDP is basically created in cities. So I don't know how these two things relate. How can we get to 24, having done recycling for the past 20, 30, 40 years? And given that the large majority of the economy is not yet able to go beyond that. And it's not only complex for the entire city, it's also complex for an individual. I mean, we basically heard it from Simona before. You have to do many things at once and understand various things. And then there are hundreds of solutions, if not thousands of solutions from which you can pick. But the question is, what matters locally? What works locally? So this is how we see it, basically. This is any given city, and you're supposed to go down the slope, not properly trained, anything, and just do it. That's kind of the way the regulation, the policies are given. They have targets, they give you indicators, hundreds of them as well, and another issue. And just pick the right way, and please arrive at the bottom unharmed. And from an individual's point of view, it's difficult. Even if a person is tasked at the city to do this circular economy effort, will the superior believe me? What mistakes can I do? What templates can I follow? What about the lifetime costs? When I buy something new, something linear, I know, this is the value, end of story. At some point it goes to the bin, and I know. But if someone goes and comes, this is a reparity or service as a product as a service model, what are the actual costs after 5, 10 or whatever years? The calculations are different. If you've done them for 20 years, it's complicated. And this results in doubt and eventually maybe not acting. On top of this comes simply the complexity of simply choosing stuff. Yeah, there are so many cases. What is right in one city might be wrong in another city, and hence the easiest option is always to walk away. Just repeat the circular tender. Sorry, big mistake. The linear tender from last year, and you know that you will be safe. Yeah, you know that nobody will come after you for having done a mistake. You maybe have been as green as you could be, but you've done your job. We try to help with that, and we divided this common challenge of cities. Maybe you saw at the beginning of the slide, I didn't highlight it. This is an effort of 8 cities, including Berlin, London, Istanbul, Helsinki, and smaller ones, Guimarães, and so on, which basically, although they are already quite far ahead with their circular approaches in their specialized units, the challenge is how do you bring it to the 1,000 other stuff in the city? So we've broken this common challenge down into 4 areas. One is information, basically getting access to the information and being able to understand it. The other one is building up experience in acting circular, which means starting with the simple stuff, not directly coming with the most complicated approach just because it is the cream and it's the most effective, efficient, whatever, but start with things people can do and break it down so far that it is actionable step by step. Then there's the organization part. This is maybe something you have experienced yourself. If you have done strategies for people, then what we have heard from these consultants is that they are basically detached from what happens. The strategy is written, it's put on the website, it's announced this policy, but what happens then within the city, these people who have written it and the people who are supposed to act on it are not connected. They are not being connected. So the platform is supposed to simply make it possible both ways, that someone with a strategy vision can look down and say, hey, I can help you, and the person who needs help can ask for it. And then ultimately, tools and means of helping with the linear mindset, how to grow and kind of understanding first the R principles and so on. By giving these nuggets of information when they matter, in this flow of steps, or by interest, following the interest of the people. So what is the result? It's a platform. You can imagine it as a platform. It's a website where all the things are integrated into something you can use. And of course, AI is embedded into it to kind of support wherever possible, to prepare the knowledge nugget which matters in a given scenario. I want to do this use case, I don't know, something about waste, and you don't necessarily need to learn about mobility next. You need to learn about some piece of information. Some piece of information about okay, and this is what we want to achieve. You provide the city staff with equipment so that it's safe, that it's easier. You give them guidance, you give them motivation, you give them nudging, and the slope is still there. You still have to go down. It hasn't changed, but it should be easier, it should be safer, it should be more fun, hopefully. Just so you can imagine the tools, there are 2. I come to this in a second. There are 2 options you can choose from, but they basically designed from the top view something similar. So there are 2 suppliers which develop this entire solution as a platform. And then comes at some point the city, which first starts with a strategy. So basically top down, what do I want to achieve? Many cities, as we learned before, don't have it. Some cities have various policies, but they're not integrated. So this is a way of putting it together. Or they have policies, but not really targets. No milestones, no path they want to follow, just the goal far, far, far away. And some cities indeed already do it well. Then they don't need to do much with it at all. They just basically need to transfer information, and with the help of AI and the platform, it's all done within hours. And then there is this work, achieving impact, achieving circular action, which is basically done by people, and they simply do. So the agnostic solution means that all the information across all the sectors is integrated. This platform is not only for one sector, it is about anything. We have also publicly shared, it's available for you if you want to use it for any other purpose, a collection of all the data sources. So for instance, I confuse the numbers every time, but there are, I believe, 150 or 180, I don't know anymore, sources where case studies are collected in Europe. Okay, no human can read this aside from the language barriers. So the AI makes them all accessible. They've been basically scanned. The AI have been trained with it, and if you search for a chair, now you get the case studies suggested from this blog, for instance. On procurement criteria, there were 50 sources. 50 sources with good procurement criteria. In Scandinavia, very good sets were developed in Swedish and Finnish. Through the translation, they become available everywhere to pick from. It doesn't mean that you have to take them. It's just that they are suggested to you, and are aware of them, and you can, with human oversight, use them as they want. So the onboarding means getting the core stuff onboarded on the platform and creating this mission, as already described. And for the day-to-day use, there are multiple layers. So basically, the core item is that you have a chat function integrated, not like a general on the website where you can ask anything, but rather linked to these workflows. What we call workflow is, for instance, the waste campaign described earlier, or some specific solution. How do I want the solution? How do I get it implemented? And they're broken down in steps and milestones. You follow the steps, and you should arrive at the end. And of course, all the elements which support it. Okay, the project is at its end. We are basically finishing it now. What it was is a giant funnel. What it means is that we started with a proposal, which was before GPT was released, and we defined what the solution is to be, together with the 8 cities and the surveys. Maybe some of you participated on what is needed. So we defined the tender, we wrote the challenge, there was a market competition, 15 companies applied. We picked 5 in the first stage, then 3, and then 2. And now we have 2 products which are ready, okay? They have been used now by 22 organizations, and they are currently deciding what they want to retain. Sometimes both, sometimes one, sometimes none, in fact. Often there, then typically political reasons are the issue, that they can't decide, rather than they don't want to decide. And but the majority is continue using at least one of the solutions. Yeah, and they are already available. The links I will share in a minute, and can be picked up. Now, why do they matter, I believe? Okay, so, and this is, we have multiple scale-up challenges in Europe. The Draghi report basically says is we have enough innovation, we are incapable of scaling up. If people want to scale up with a biotech solution, they go to China. If they want to scale up with an IT solution or fintech solution, they go to the US. And we are in Europe not good enough into picking up and to basically deciding for something and using it. So translated for circular economy solutions, I mean, not everybody's Netherlands, as we heard, that they are pushing actively to get something in. It is simply that many cities don't know that there is innovation. I mean, maybe they have a particular waste problem, but how do they learn about other stuff? If the cities have to pick it, then they are not being connected with the people who have done it before. So everything is a giant mountain to climb. Yeah, it's not something they can follow a template or whatever. Everything is complicated, and because something's complicated, it takes more time and less is done. Within the city, our organizations, our city organizations, our laws are defined by linear system, yeah, certain silos, but new technologies kind of cut across it. Yeah? Circular economy is mixing service and product. Biotech is cutting through everything all the time because it's not a pure chemical. It is also something biological and so on. And you will have to navigate this red tape. And then, yeah, is acting circular already innovative in itself? For many people, yes. And what it means is that of this amazing, of all the stuff we have, which could get us to this 24%, the uptake is slow and we are only progressing slowly. So we believe that CircularPSP can, with two solutions rather, yeah, CircularPS and Circular AI, can help cities to deploy circularity, and with this innovation, and with this help innovative companies in Europe to grow. What do we need to do to give you everything you need? So we've tested it in 22 organizations. We have 60 follower tests, so there are sandboxes you can use. Yeah, you just need to follow the links later, so you can have a first look, and it's not only theory you hear from me. The evaluation is ongoing. CBA impact assessment is ongoing. There will be 2 core deliverables you can read, one describing the experience, the other one kind of the guidance of why it matters and what benefits it carries. If you want to convince someone, it should help you in doing that. Yeah, and the 2 solutions are already available. The commercial scale-up is a challenge. Basically, this issue I described before with the valley of death for the circular economies is also true for these two companies. It's simply for investors, it's too early to jump on and give them money. For cities, it is sort of too early to jump on because there's hardly any users. Well, there are a number of companies who are using it already. There are people on the network. So we hope to have smoothed the path, but I know that it's challenging. What we learned, Camille was there in Brussels at the event with DG Regio, is that we should look at the regional programs for funding. And this is also a lesson for everybody in any project. Although we have been working on commercial plans for a year, indeed, this has not been sufficiently investigated. And indeed, there are various programs where you could put such a platform as eligible funding. Yeah. We are currently preparing a complete list for all the countries where target funding instruments are. If you combine them with some specific measure, that the platform could basically be at least partially funded. So we are, through this document, we will try to make it as simple as possible to adapt it, or at least try it for a while. How do we see it? Why do we should try? I mean, the price is not huge. Yeah, it's like something like a small car for the first year because of onboarding and so on. And we believe that it reduces efforts it does reduce efforts for acting circular. This has been documented in the pilot sites. We know that. Circular procurement, I touched not at all on. I realize one of the features is using the AI to kind of scan your procurement decks or documents. You upload your tender, your procurement documents onto the tool, and the tool assesses it for potential improvements. And it suggests options of what you could do, such as the 50 sources of procurement criteria I mentioned before. Yeah, so that whatever you already have in the pipeline, I mean, procurement is the last stage of circular action in a way, because at this point you cannot rethink anything anymore. But the procurement department also get help. Then there is, I think all believe in the call that in the long term, circular economy is cheaper. So there can be maybe displayed through it. There are the social gains of avoiding greenhouse gas emissions. This is something where cities, whoever cannot enough believe in, it's the state who needs to make the decision that this is something we actually want to follow and value. And the discussions about ETS are more than sad, but we will see. And yeah, it is an EU solution in the end. So you know where it comes from and how it will be and not how it might become. Oh, something broken here, sorry. And yeah, so my suggestion is give your cities or give your region or convince your, I don't know, regional government or even national government to supply your cities with this tool as a basis. What they do, these two solutions, is that they enable also networks like CCRI to maybe get a bit further in that you don't start each call with informing each other about what it is. There's a place where you can look up the mission. The mission is displayed in a transparent manner, in a manner which both sides understand, and then you can suggest specific actions. Yeah? So I believe they also help with the twinning efforts. So I don't know if you are responsible for another city in your country or elsewhere. It can provide you with the environment to actually implement something. Yeah? Because let's be clear, we cannot all be project managers for everyone. Yeah? We cannot go to the next 100 cities and be project managers for each of them and tell them do this now, do this now, do this now, do this now. We need some form of scale to do that, and I think these two solutions can provide it. Yeah, so I already said what we need to do for the project. We need to provide you with the documentation so that it's arguable. And we are happy if you help us to present. Yeah, so if there is any network, be it local, regional, we would invite the two solutions or one of them, if you prefer one of them, to present so that they can maybe jump on it and yeah, help others to create impact. Get them to the hill or give someone a push. We want to get more people on the circular train so that we get beyond these 12.2%. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Georg. It was a very interesting presentation, and I think these tools are very valuable for cities that are aiming to achieve their circular transition, no matter where they find themselves in this transition. So thank you very much. And now it's time for Q&A. So yeah, I will ask the audience, in case you have any question, to raise your hand and I will give you the floor. Or also you can write your questions via chat. Well, I don't see any questions for now, but from EURADA, we do have some questions. So it was indeed a very interesting presentation. And as I said, these tools are very, very useful. And we were wondering if you could illustrate the implementation of the CircularPSP solutions with a successful case, a good practice, a municipality that already implemented this and how it's going on now.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We are just creating the reports. I hope we would be a bit further by this point in time. It's of course not so because it's summer. So how has it been done? Basically, I can explain the process and that it has been followed by all these organizations, that there was an onboarding period where the cities came together in a meeting with the suppliers. They shared documents in advance, they have been uploaded, they have been basically implemented and used. And as a result, one of the results is not only then displaying kind of the mission of the city, but also to lay out a set of workflows which should be followed next. Kind of what makes sense at the stage of any given city is. Yeah, and this has been done. I should have added a slide on CAN. I realize from the deck from CircularPSP. So in Kran, they have done it. Kran is a city in Slovenia. They have done it, and they've estimated that they basically cut their time they required to plan certain actions by half. Okay, so I'm talking about now the KPIs for the platform rather than the circular action itself. I realize is because I haven't read it yet. I realized that it is not yet reported, and I haven't looked it up. So what the cities did in the end is different. That's my point in a way, that each city does what matters for them most. And there's no single action they have, aside from deploying the solutions, is what they do depends, the big EU word is place-based, Yeah? They do what matters to them. And looping back to my slide, because I look at this systematically, I tend to not know exactly what they've done specifically. I care about the fact that they do it at all. But fair game, there's a slide missing on a specific example, yes.
Well, thank you very much. And I think, well, Camille sent a CircularOS resource via chat. And, well, if there is no further questions, we can maybe go to the closing remarks. Camille?
Yes, thank you very much, Berta. Thank you very much, Georg. And as we said, indeed, we went to the final conference as EURADA, to the final conference of CircularPSP, and it was actually a very inspiring moment for us, because the tools that were developed are very, very, very good, and as we said, we keep them in mind also to try to build on what is already created, and because this is also what we have to do with European projects. We have to learn how to build on what is already created and developed, so we make the best out of everything, and we get inspiration from the others, and the other initiative on circular economy. So we are coming to the end of this webinar. Before closing the webinar, we kindly invite you, at the same time that I'm doing the closing remark, to scan the QR code that you see on screen, and also the link of the QR code will be sent very shortly in the chat, and fill the satisfaction survey. We thank you in advance for completing it. This is a mandatory survey under the EU-funded CCRI project. So that being said, thank you all for joining us today. So this webinar was from Circular Economy Roadmap to Operational Program. Over the past 2 hours, we've explored how cities and regions can bridge the gap between circular economy strategies and their practical implementation. So from Oost Netherlands inspiring case studies to Trnava's candid discussion on challenges and opportunities, and finally CircularPSP tools, we've seen how governance, stakeholder alignment, and realistic milestones are critical to the success of this circular transition. So this webinar was designed to empower you with tools, peer insights, and governance models to operationalize your circular economy roadmap, whether you're a regional development agency, municipality, an SME, or a policymaker. The key takeaway seems clear that circularity thrives when strategy meets execution. So let's carry forward the lessons on defining objective, sequencing the actions, and fostering collaboration, because the transition to circular economy is not just a goal, But as we saw, it's a collective journey. So the conversation doesn't end here. We encourage you to reach out to the speakers, to us, and explore the CCRI Knowledge Hub for further resources. We stay connected. Together, we can turn these insights into impact. And as I said, the recording of the webinar will be available soon, as for the speakers or for the participants. Once again, thank you very much for joining us today. We hope this webinar was inspiring and led to more circulars, ideas and commitment. Now, I wish you a good lunch and a good rest, or a good rest of the working day to you all. I thank again Georg and the other speakers, even if they are not here. And I thank again my colleague Berta for supporting me during this webinar. And I wish you a beautiful rest of the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day. Thank you much.
Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
Bye.
Bye-bye.